do that.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
We'll call the September 6th Health Committee meeting to order. 10 o'clock. First item on the agenda is public comments. Are there any public comments? The next...
Am I on the agenda?
Yeah, Anita, you're on the agenda. You're next, so go ahead and take the floor.
Thank you very much.
Announce yourself.
My name is Anita Hahn, and we reside in Danforth Township on County Highway 30. And the reason I have come to the meeting is because in early April, we had a neighbor farmer on our road with lots of loads of chicken manure. And he was on the roads before postings came down. And we complained about the roads being tore up. Well, he quit dumping near us and went down the Danforth narrow slab over to the Leonard Road and came back up on some property that he has over there, and he dumped about 4 or 5 times as much. And we contacted Terry Hyman, but he said he couldn't help us. We had talked to Thad Eshelman, and he couldn't help us. Well, we talked to another supervisor, but he said his area shut off at Crescent Township. So my husband went over to approach this man and talk to him at his mother's house. And we thought we had an understanding, and he would agree to move the smaller pile to the bigger pile away from the neighbors. And he would do it within 10 days or so because he was busy. Well, when we came back from vacation, it was still there. So as a friend, Jim had gone to talk to him, and we thought everything was kosher because they had shaken hands, and he said he'd move it. Well, he didn't move it, so I called another friend, and like I said, we're all friends and neighbors, we know each other. So I called county sheriff, and as a friend, he went over to talk to him, and he got back to me, and he says, well, I think he's digging his heels in because he says it's his livelihood, and he would move it when he got good and ready. So I called the state's attorney's office, and I really never got to talk to the state's attorney. They sent me to the county clerk, and the county clerk told me to call my township supervisor, who is Mr. Weisman, and he's been a lot of help. So the more we got to talking about everything, he got in touch with Lisa Madigan's office because we just weren't getting anywhere. We were just going from one person to the next. Lisa sent us down to Springfield and had some attorneys working on it. However, everybody started taking vacations and passing it on to somebody else to somebody else. So then it got into the Champaign office, same thing, somebody went on vacation who went on vacation. So in the meantime, I wasn't getting much satisfaction. So I had contacted Mr. Permweedy, and he took some time out and came out to look at this situation that we have. And the smell was horrendous. It's come out of Rose Acres Farm up near Donovan, which is owned down in Indiana. Well, Jim approached somebody that was stirring it up with a big end loader at the biggest pile. And that guy had made the comment that he was from Indiana, that he didn't know who was paying him to do this, and every time they stirred it up and it got tracked out onto the road, we would drive through it, and if you weren't careful, you'd bring it either into your garage or take it with you on your tires. And it's in very close proximity to the ditch we have. And there's neighbors very, very close. In fact, we have a widow across the street, and we had a lady that's trying to sell her house, and a guy that would like to build a house. And we're very close. if he would have just moved the smaller pile to the larger pile, we wouldn't have had any problem, because it was like 3/4 of a mile down the road. But he just dug his heels in and said he wasn't going to do this. So eventually I was talking to a couple lawyers and spoke to some neighbors. The neighbor across the road happened to say she saw him dumping in the very early stages of it, and they quit dumping while she was standing there. But then when they didn't see her anymore, they were actually backed up with loads, and we're talking several loads. And it's been sitting there since April. And I mean, at times you couldn't even be on the back porch, you couldn't be in the backyard, you couldn't drive by it. And it's just a big nuisance. And like I said, the proximity to the ditch is another big problem. But Mr. Permweedy came out and was very nice. Was with me over an hour or so, taking a look at the situation, and just wanted to bring it to the county's attention.
It's still there now.
Yeah.
And those files are like the one address I'd like to try to
Okay. Yeah. I live on County Highway 30, which is the road just past in section. Oh, wait, we've got some
There's some
pictures.
pictures, and we're live in Danforth Township. I didn't make a more copy.
So Dale, if you want me to comment on that, I did go out there. It's,
I'd forgotten where 30 was. I do know where it is now.
Yeah, just past the turn, just take a
Yeah.
left. It's 23, section 4.
And they come out and stir them every once in a while.
They did until we started complaining. No, it's just been sitting there, but we've had an abundance of rain in July and August. It's just pooling. Even if you wanted to get the snow out, you should have put some lime on it or a berm around it or something. But if they had just moved the smaller pile to the larger pile, we wouldn't have pursued it. If we start this, everybody's going to be doing it.
right, I think it's the smaller pile would have been moved. This is just in my opinion.
I drove by it. I had too.
Then it could have been,
I know where it's at.
I'm sure it's gonna get taken care of as soon as the crops are out. If the smaller one would have been moved to the larger one, then everybody probably could have withstood it.
But from April till October is way too long.
I guess this is just in my opinion, Dale, but I did go look at it. You know, I grew up on a large farm and we raised a lot of cattle, and we had to pile manure as well to get to the harvest. But there's a couple things that come to mind here. It's just more of a courtesy thing. When we were doing that, a lot of people had to do it in the same area, and you have to do it to manage your manure. But in this case, somebody was bringing the manure in. I mean, they weren't. It wasn't a necessity to their. Obviously, they don't have chickens. It's like
Right.
So I don't know the best way to handle this. I know Anita just wanted it brought to the board because she's not getting any resolution anywhere.
What had the EPA, have they responded?
They're still sending it around and everybody's on vacation and then Labor Day and...
You've had two out there from the EPA, right? A guy first?
Well, a man named Jeff Halstead said he had been there twice, but we had never talked to him, and Mr. Weisman said, I will gladly meet anybody out there at any time, but he didn't call Mr. Weisman. So I did have a girl come out, and I really thought she was going to be some help, and her name was Holly Herchert, and she is environmental protection engineer, but she's more water division instead of the nuisance and the air and land. And all of us out there have flowing wells, And this is my neighbor, Mr. Dukes. He belongs to a district, he's a ditch commissioner out in that area. He's also a neighbor.
Yeah. It is very close, you can see where the weed, we've got 4 inches, we've been getting 4 inches. You can see where the water is running, knocking big weeds down into the ditch. I lived right where that pile was at many years ago in the 40s. And I thought it'd be good, and just, the land hadn't been worked. To be done like every other farm, we had a different farmers do the same thing. But they spread it, just get in and use it. But he just left his way in it. Like I said, when this lady came out of Springfield, we was standing there and it was dry and everything else, and the odor was still in it. And it's 100 yards across the road. There's a residence with this woman she's talking about.
Mr. Dukes,
Other residences.
if I can ask, does anyone know that, or you or anyone else know the intention of this, of the manure? Is it, they want to fertilize with it, or what's the?
I assume this is what's happening with it. I've gotten other than I'm a farmer too. I understand. I've had these piles like you're talking about, but
To have 2 piles.
and but I think that the young man. But this is you haven't got too much respect for your neighbors when you do something like this. My opinion.
So do they have a lot of wheat ground? I mean, they could have put it on the wheat ground over the summer, right?
There was nothing done for that. He had, but he free, yes, he could put it on that corn ground that he got to eat and stuff.
He did take some wheat out, but that, none
I
of
mean,
the...
he had available space at that
He
time.
had wheat, I know he was doing wheat, but he never moved any of it.
It was not there before the corn was
Of course, he had a lot of double crop.
Or the load limit along the road.
You know, even organic, if you were going to go organic, still, no place to put that. 2000 North Road where we're talking about, it's a half mile or so down there, and it's in Daphne Township. And they asked if that was a loader, I don't know, whether you're selling it or what he was doing, I can't say that. But they were using the loader, picking it up, putting it in a truck, do this, do that. And it's just, these folks there, it's a half mile away from like that, it was terrible, you know. I live about 2 miles from it, and when they first lived in it, I could also, which got wind of it. So, it's just, you just cooperate and just put it like Mika said,
Yeah.
put it in a big pile. Nobody's got nothing to say about that.
The trouble is with a lot of things, had a neighbor lady down the road that was gonna sell her house. His grandma is her best friend. Then I talked to a man that lives on Leonard Road. He doesn't want to get involved because his grandson is working for the man. Then the guy tried to tell us, well, I don't have anything to do with this. I don't have the equipment to move it, but he's in the equipment business, and he does. He's one of the biggest farmers we got out there. And he's just digging in and saying it's his livelihood. Well, I'm glad it's his livelihood, but I wish it was more in his own neighborhood.
In my opinion, that small pile is a day's work to get that out of there with what he's got.
Probably, I'd say roughly 5 semi-loads wouldn't take no time.
Just to move it to that other one that has to get done today.
And he can get at it. The other one, yes, because of all the rain, he could get buried. But the small one is on a good foundation. He could dump that to the other. Some of his relation had done this years ago, but they did it way away from us, and the moment they could get it put in and knifed in, they did. And it's not like we're coming out of Chicago and complaining because we've lived here all our lives, but
I can understand, you know, besides your fertilizer and getting this, I'm a farmer, I can understand that, or you can put it on, it's a help.
but like Troy said, it's not their own manufactured, it's not his cow manure, it is
Right.
his
It
chicken
wasn't provided, it
manure
wasn't,
that he bought.
it didn't come off his farm.
So Dale, we've had to deal with this before with the hog farm. I forget what the route was, resolution there.
Well, the hog farm was a sighting issue, if we're talking about the same thing. Sighting of a large hog farm.
They were spraying the manure there, correct?
Yeah, but I think the controversy was siting a new facility, wasn't it? Unless there was another one you're referring to.
That's right.
And that's handled obviously by the state. We don't have anything to say about it other than public opinion, statements and that sort of thing. And sadly enough, I don't know that we have any authority in this kind of situation. We can publicize it. We can talk about it. Whether we can insist, whether we have any authority to insist something be done about it, I don't know.
And if we don't set a precedence, somebody else is going to do the same thing. I mean, something has to start somewhere. And like I said, I've been full circle all summer long. I mean, it's just been...
I understand that. I feel for you, absolutely.
Do you want to go out and take a look at it?
I would
We
rather.
do have a video too,
I will grab
Okay.
on my way home, in fact.
but I'm sure he's seen it and I didn't know judge it from mine.
Yep.
Thank you.
We need to talk about it strongly so that it makes the meeting reports in the newspaper and talks about the stench provided by someone being less than thoughtful about their neighbors. Someone that, I say that.
Well, I thought I was doing the right thing by sending a friend to talk to a friend after my husband approached him personally.
Yeah.
And by shaking hands, he thought it was resolved. But then he got to thinking about it, and I guess he thought, well, when I'm good and ready, but...
I think we all can agree that if you live rural in Iroquois County, you're going to smell livestock waste from time to time, but full-time is not
all
an
summer long,
option,
yeah.
especially when it's...
And the day Troy came out there, Troy didn't have to get...
No, that was, yeah. I've been around a lot of...
And I apologize for laughing.
No, I'm just to this point where I can't believe that he even did it, but I just, if he moved the small part to the big part and not done it again, that's fine. But
I wasn't aware of the whole issue, but I have driven past there and smelled it. I know exactly where you're coming from.
oh, before this.
Right.
Okay, I didn't...
Yes, to be honest with you.
Everybody, when the whole thing stinks. Would that be a zoning thing? You just put on the zoning book, you can't import under zoning? Would they get that in zoning? Expert. You can't import? The only thing would be it's your own, or, like I said, the have to versus the...
Oh, yeah.
Because there is a have to need to do that.
Right. But it's an agricultural input.
And the reason I got here before, because the ground over there was so wet in Indiana, they had nothing somewhere.
I've heard that one.
He was gonna move it, and the comment he made to someone was that they were busy in Indiana, they had an abundance of rain, and he didn't have the equipment to do it. Everybody knows who it is, and it's a big farmer, and if he gets by with it, I feel sorry for the guy, because he got thrown in over his head with this farming, and he's a little over his head, and gone to his head.
Yeah.
So, any other questions?
No,
We appreciate the
we've listened, and it'll go on to the county board.
Well, when I talked to Troy said, why haven't I heard about this before? And I said, can you come out? So he did. Mr. Weisman, wonderful, wonderful. In fact, we have never met. He's just on the phone a million times, but...
local government.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Anita.
Next item of business, are there any agency reports? I guess since Mrs. Strong did that prior,
Okay.
there's none reporting. E, Iroquois County Public Health Department.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I think I'm getting into that, but see, a little further myself as well. We're fine about that.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
smelly situation.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I wanted to let you know that a 25-year public health employee has retired, Deb Longa. I can't tell you over the years how many immunizations or TB cases she has investigated, TB skin tests, or diabetes classes she's taught. She was also a CNA instructor and most recently a school nurse. But she spent the last 25 years in public health nursing, serving the residents of Iroquois County, and has decided to retire. So I wanted to make the committee aware that that we had that happen. She's going to be available to us if we need her for flu clinics or on a PRN as needed basis. So we're very fortunate that she'll keep her nursing license active and help us out if we need that. It's always nice to have an extra set of hands that you can call on, especially someone with her knowledge and expertise. We did hire a nurse to replace Deb's current position as the Milford school nurse. And one day we get in the office, and that is Melissa McEwen. So we welcomed her to the health department here just a few weeks ago. Schools started off and running, and our contracts with the schools are in place, and we're filling those contracts and doing much of education with their staff members, and now seeing to the needs of their students. One of the things that we've been busy with is we're working with the Juvenile Justice Council and ICANN on a youth underage drinking alcohol prevention program grant that they have. And we're just maintaining that as a partner. One of the things that we typically see when you see increases in underage drinking, you see increases in STD. And so one of the reasons that we partnered with them for this is because I can't tell you how many times when we treat someone for do a community investigation, to treat someone for an STD in Iroquois County, that they say to us during the investigation, I wouldn't have normally participated in risky behaviors if I hadn't been under the influence of alcohol. So it is something that does go hand in hand. We do see the correlation and the relationship there. So we'll be working with them on strategies to reduce that drinking, and hopefully we'll see STD rates drop as well. Another thing that I wanted to make you aware of was that on September 1st, we went to Springfield to an opioid strategy for communities educational presentation. We know that opioid use, specifically heroin use, is becoming an increasing problem in Iroquois County. So, and I talked to Sheriff Hagan a little bit about that, and he definitely confirmed that it's becoming an increasing problem. So, what we're going to do is look at a program that they're doing right now in Bureau and Putnam County, at their health department, and it's a prevention program. And they've invited us to come and look at their program, to sit in on their coalition meetings. I guess their coalition has like 60 members. Their community is just really surrounding them on trying to get a grip on this crisis. So we at least want to go look at what they're doing and see what kind of things we can, ideas we can come up with, and strategies we can come up with for Iroquois County. So we're looking into that as well. The first thing I'm going to hand out to you is the grants listing. At the last health committee meeting, I reported that we still were waiting on several grants. We have gotten all of the grants in now. And now we have the grant applications shown up on eGrants, but I've completed them all. So we were very thrilled because of the 3 grant programs that we were waiting on, we did get funded for all of them, which was very nice. The dental sealant grant did go down from $1,500 to $1,000, but that provides for enough money for a dentist to come into the school district and see those children who have no other means of getting dental exams and getting that taken care of. So that's a good grant to have. The Illinois Tobacco Free Community Program, I was kind of surprised, but the state of Illinois funded it at the same exact amount that they funded it last year at $20,714. So those grants were submitted. The lead testing grant did go down a little bit. I told you we were just finishing that up at the last meeting. It went from $1,890 to $1,085. I've been told that the focus is that there's going to be some change in this, and that's why it was decreased, because they're going to focus not only on the testing, but on mitigation. So I've been told that there's a possibility of a lead mitigation grant now coming out. So if that does, and I don't know any other information about that, but if that happens, I'll let you know. I would assume, and I think it's okay to assume, that that's because of the problems that they have had over in Yale places in Knox County, with a very similar situation to what happened in Flint, Michigan. And then the other grant was the Preschool Vision and Hearing Screening Program grant, which I had told you at the last meeting, that even if this grant wasn't funded, we would continue to provide those services. But that was level funded at the same amount as last year. So we were very pleased about that. So all of our grants have been submitted, and we're awaiting contracts on them.
What about the 2 we're trying to memorial?
Those 2? Iroquois Memorial Hospital received those grants. They did receive them, yes. We decided not to apply for them in order for them to have an opportunity to receive them, and they did receive both of them.
Same amount?
Same amount, yes. Yes. Well, actually, I think one of them, I don't want to speak for Iroquois Memorial Hospital, but I think that their Health and Government Illinois amount went up. So that's it. So that's our grants and contracts for the week. And then the next thing would be our program summary report. So I'll give you that. I'll give you the hands around. So if you look at our grant summary report and you look at all the different services that we're providing, and I know that there's 3 pages of this, and one of the things that you'll notice is the temporary permits issued for food, under food sanitation, under the environmental health program. We're still seeing temporary food permits, and most of that is for festivals and fairs and carnival type permits. Not a lot of other increases in areas. Obviously, we're still doing the mosquito samples. We've got people with Nile virus. Caught them all yet. Pretty bad out there right now, the mosquitoes. And a lot of the states are reporting positive West Nile virus cases. And only have 3 cases. We have not had any West Nile virus human cases in Iroquois County today. So I'm hoping that, I'll be honest with you, with the mosquito population, I don't think we're going to get like this for very long. If you have any questions about the environmental health things, the water sample flow, anything like that, if you look at under the community health program summary, one of the things that's going to jump out at you right away is the number of chlamydia cases. In July, we had 1 case, in August, we had 10. Once you have more than 50% increase in cases, obviously a 1,000% increase in cases, then the state could be in what's called an outbreak mode. So we are considered outbreak mode for chlamydia. It's just terminology. All of those cases have been followed up, investigated, and every one of those people who has tested positive has been treated. We were looking for the common denominator in those cases, and I have found some common denominator. You'll also notice that we investigated, that we had 7 animal bites and 7 investigations for rabies. None of those rabies investigations came back positive for rabies. So now the animals that were tested, and no animals was tested positive, and no individual out of these current 7 had to be to go through rabies vaccination prophylaxis. So that was good. Just know that the bats are active right now. So you can see, all the other many different things. Obviously, our TB scan test numbers have gone up. That's for a lot of times for healthcare workers and new teachers. At this time, we don't have anyone who had to be placed on preventative prophylactic TB medication for latent TB, and obviously then no cases of active TB at this time. So that's good. And then the second page follows all that with those things, and then also our senior service program. Everything on the sheet is self-explanatory. The other thing that I wanted to share with the committee was something that the Board of Health had requested of me. Anita, second, I gave you guys the revenue and expense report for us. One of the things that the Board of Health had requested that I really like, we've kind of been doing it internally, that they wanted a home on. The revenue and expense report, they're on 5 different sheets. You've got an administrative budget. I break it down into 5 different divisions: administrative, environmental health, community health, senior services, and then our contracted services. So you get 5 sheets, but we don't really have a summary sheet. So we create a summary sheet that matches the numbers exactly from Anita's on our revenue and expense report. It's a summary sheet that we share with the Board of Health, just so that they can kind of look at it at a glance without having to go 5 different pages and add all the numbers up. It's just helpful to them. They requested that, so I thought I would share that with you as well. So you can look at this and tell through all of those. For example, under expenses where it says department head salary, we'll have all of the department head salaries. But this kind of just sums it up into a 1-page summary for you. Not that you can't have the 5 pages together, but this just makes it a little easier. Kind of gives you a picture at a glance. Where exactly we're at. To date, the state owes the health department $113,000. But I will tell you this much. Last week we got in some pretty heavy payments. At the last meeting I reported to you that we were owed like $189,000. So they're starting to come in. They just started coming in last week. We're told that we should have more money coming in from the grant fiscal year that ended June 30th. We should have some of that money coming in very soon. So we were told that money would start coming in from Healthy Families Illinois and Family Case Management. We did get some from both last week, and I expect more this week, especially from the Healthy Families Illinois program, because that was our main one that had to pay, like $160,000 of the $180,000 that program alone. We got about $50,000 in from that last week, so hopefully more will be coming in now that the state's paying it. you have any questions for me? Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any old business to come before the committee? Any new business? If none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second? All right. All in favor to adjourn?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?